Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm here to talk about one of the most anticipated movies of 2019, and that is Captain Marvel. Let's get to it. So what Captain Marvel is about? Well, Captain Marvel is about Captain Marvel. But to be more specific, it starts off with Carol Danvers. She wakes up being part of an elite Kree military unit called Star Force. And upon their first mission in rescuing a Kree spy, they become ambushed, resulting in Carol only being captured by the Skrulls, who are the enemy of the Kree. The later circumstances leads to Carol escaping from the Skrulls and crashing into C-53, also known as Earth, where she discovers the answers behind her recurring flashbacks of a mysterious woman on planet Earth, as well as learning about the secrets behind her superpowers. Firstly, I cannot say that this movie was out of this world, even though this movie did take place out of this world, in space, blah blah blah. Okay, but overall, I would think that this movie is fairly okay. Now, why would I say that? Why would I say that Captain Marvel, the movie about supposedly the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, is only okay? Well, here's what I have to say about Captain Marvel. Let me just first explain the few good points about this movie. Now, this version of Captain Marvel's origins is based strongly on the 2012 Captain Marvel comics written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. And this Captain Marvel movie focuses on Carol rediscovering herself, her fight to show that women are just as capable or more capable than men, and not just as spectators in a male-dominated society, because this is what this movie was showing the 1980s to be. I would think that Brie Larson does a very good portrayal of Captain Marvel because, the way she carried herself throughout this film, she looked very strong and determined, which definitely suits how Captain Marvel should be. And I really totally have nothing against her playing Captain Marvel, definitely. I like this, as in the story, as well as her fight to show that women are just as capable, as an introduction to the supposedly most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is Captain Marvel. It's also really enjoyable to see Samuel L. Jackson and, Clark Gregg reprising their roles as a vastly different Nick Fury, as well as a Greenhorn Agent Coulson. Now, the Nick Fury in this movie, he's not as authoritative, if that's how you pronounce it, authoritative and manipulative as the Nick Fury in the Avengers movies. The Nick Fury in Captain Marvel appears to be someone who is wondering who is the next big threat to America, never really considering any extraterrestrial threats to the planet itself. However, I feel that the way this movie told the story was seemingly predictable and uncreative. Why do I say that? Now, I only remember a few memorable scenes that had me on the edge of my seat, especially at the third act, where everyone in this movie, and I'm pretty sure not just everyone in this movie, but the audience too, were all gawking at how OP Captain Marvel is really. Most of the scenes throughout was seemingly simple and having some cheap jokes and antiques, mostly by Samuel L. Jackson, to make those scenes entertaining, which I don't think was really necessary. I feel that they could have at least become a little more creative within those scenes to make this movie more engaging. Fortunately, the visual effects were also the highlights of this movie, because the visual effects were definitely top-notch. The end credits show a lot of people being involved in the visual effects. There's definitely a lot of things that had to be done for those scenes, so I really enjoyed the visual effects, definitely. For the antagonists, there is an antagonist in this movie, a main antagonist, but I feel like his influence in this movie was weak. It was disappointing to me because for a movie about supposedly, again, Captain Marvel, I expected an antagonist to be someone really intimidating, really powerful, having a really strong influence in this movie. But, overall Captain Marvel is fairly okay, but thankfully I still enjoyed this movie because of the few good points that I mentioned about Captain Marvel. However, I would think that this movie was made in haste as they had a lot of things to work with within such a limited time, such as the prosthetics, which were very convincing, such as, I mean, especially with what they did with Samuel L. Jackson, making him look like 30 years or 40 years younger. The visual effects, which had like again a very big crew in charge of, as well as well, 4 cats playing as one cat, which is the floor girl. I think that's what they call the cat in the movie. They call the cat in the movie a floor girl, which the cat is also a really interesting character in this movie too. I would think that they only had a limited time in this movie because they wanted to squeeze this movie before Avengers Infinity War, which is a much bigger project. Therefore, I'm not really surprised as to why was Captain Marvel like this being okay in my opinion. I feel like this movie could have been much more better if they had more time to work with, to improve those scenes, to make this movie more engaging overall. Fortunately, I'm contented that even if I say that this movie is okay, even though I mentioned the bad points of this movie, you guys are still definitely going to fuck whatever I just said in this review and go ahead to watch this movie on your own and have your own opinion of Captain Marvel. Well, if you guys like it, then good for you. Well, if you don't, then well, that's all I have to say about Captain Marvel. Thank you guys very much for watching my review, seeing what I have to say about this movie, and hopefully you guys can drop in your comments, also telling me about your thoughts on Captain Marvel as well. Whether you disagree or agree with me, it's totally fine with me. So once again, thanks, and hopefully I can see you guys again with another movie review. And cheers.